Hello, my name is Peter Phelps of Phelps 3D, and in this FreeCAD 0.16 tutorial I'm going to discuss the drawing workbench and an add-on drawing dimensioning workbench. Now, as a fair warning, the developer of the drawing dimensioning workbench has decided to quit supporting it, quit working on it, and so the FreeCAD community has started work on adding and creating or building another workbench called TechDraw. Now, right now, TechDraw is in heavy development. It was previously an independent project from another developer, and he is merging it into the regular FreeCAD development. So it's being developed for the 0.17 version of FreeCAD right now that is in heavy development. So all of what I'm going to show you here may be completely obsolete in a little while, but I've had a couple of requests for how to make the drawings from clients and stuff, so I wanted to do this tutorial. So you'll have to have downloaded and installed the drawing dimensionings workbench, which I have here. If you can't find it, maybe I'll post a link to my version of it onto the comments section of this video. Here I have, this is basically a wall hanging fake antenna thing for if you're like a collector of antenna balls. So it's actually 4 parts. This base piece here, and then 4 pegs. So we're going to start with working on that. What we're going to do is go to the drawing workbench, and don't click this one. I mean, normally when you're trying to create a new document, but what this does is opens a SVG file that you can import into a drawing or as a drawing. What you want to click is this, insert new drawing, and they have a whole set of options for the different sizes and formats in here. I just usually stick with the A3 landscape one, which is what's the default. I'll just click that. Okay, and you'll come up with this blank page. If you click on the page, and you've got your data tab open here, you can click into the editable texts, and I usually click the little dots, and I can sit here and I can change the tab doesn't work to move from field to field. So creation date 9/9/2016. Supervisor name. I'll put the big boss. Check date. Well, you hope it's the same day or soon after. Scale, well, depending on, sometimes you might want to fill this out after you've started adding your parts, because you may not know what the scale of your parts are. It may depend, because I use the automatic scale, and then if I have to, I tweak that a little. Let's try 2.0. Wait until I 3D print a part, I would have absolutely no idea. So I'm just going to put NA in here for right now. The number. Sometimes I put the version number, like this one would be version 3.0. Sheet, well, it's probably just the first sheet. If you have several different sheets now, it depends on what you're doing. Wall and fake. I'm not sure I spelled that right. Yeah, you gotta have your spelling right when you're doing this. Subtitle. Drawing tutorial. And say OK. And that will update all these fields over here. I'm not sure what all these fields on this side are for. I'm sure they have a purpose. I just don't know. And so here you've got your blank page. Now you might reach over and think, oh, I can just click on this. So I'm gonna use the Fusion 3 part first. But you might think you can click on this. You really don't have much control over where they are placed, what types of views you have, etc. If you click this, I'll click it and show you. It just sticks this part up here. It's the top view. And you click that. You could mess with this to move it around and change it, etc. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that view. Click it and delete it. And click the item again. I tend to use this one. Insert orthographic projection of a part in active part drawing. Click that, and it will bring up a menu. It always has this default view here. And that's, I think, the front of the object. And I wish that there was like tooltips that told you what these views would be. Nothing really tells you. Right now you have auto scale / position. So basically FreeCAD is deciding what scale it would be and where you're placing it. Now you could manually undo this and work on each view yourself, but I go ahead and leave it. And in this case I'm going to go, I like how it says right click for isometric settings. I right click and nothing is happening. So you may just have to sit here and play with these. I'm going to go ahead and click some that I've already used before. That pretty much covers just about every view you really need. I could click another one to produce the opposite of this, but it's not really necessary. Now one feature you might like, if you can click the show hidden files lines. That'll show some of the hidden lines. If you show smooth lines, because you can see where you can't see in this picture the fillets that are on this, because it's smooth. So if I click show smooth lines, I can now see my fillets, which you couldn't before. And I can say OK. Now if you don't click these here, say I go ahead and I say undo those. I'll say OK. You can go in to each individually. Scroll down here, see where it says show hidden false false. You can sit here and change those to true, and it will do the same thing. It will update them back to that. And yes, it's easier to do it when it's all together, one part, one place, but just in case you forget or you want to play with how they look, you can mess with them down here too. I like to show them works. Then I can add more information later if I'm doing the dimensioning tools. Okay, so those are all there. And we don't have the pegs, but you can add a peg to it. And you might have to play with these again, like I was saying earlier. I'm going to undo the auto scale, because it's scaling it at 8. It's huge. I'm just going to say 2. And then I'm going to change the position. Now, 0, 0 is the top left. So your X is going to the right and your Y is down up from that point. So I'm going to choose a let's see. Let's try 30. No, let's go further. 50. More. And I want to go down to 320. Oops, that up here. Huh, okay. Sometimes this doesn't make any sense. Sorry. It looks like it's going up. Maybe go maybe negative 320. And for some reason you can't just backspace that last character. Well, that's me why. Sorry. Why is it going off the page in the opposite direction? You know what? I'll put it back into auto scale and let it do its thing, and then I'll change it later because for some reason that's not working the way it's supposed to. And then let's see, what are the other angles we want? Okay. And then just one of the 3 views. Okay. Let's say okay. I can come in and play with the views here. Now, let's see why. I swear, I did this before I did this video, and I went to 320 on that, and it went right where I wanted. Now, it's like it changes the numbers. Let's go up with my scale. Let's not just 2. But when you change the scale, it also moves it to. I have no idea why it does that. Now let's set 620. And there, boom, right where I wanted it. Sorry, this FreeCAD can sometimes be. Actually, I'll go a little further down, 340, and then maybe a little further up, and then check this one. scale it to oops, not moving along. I want that one. Okay, and scale it to and in this case, I'm going to probably want to say show hidden true, show true, true, true. Although, yeah, that one makes a difference. This one probably wouldn't make much of a difference because we're looking at a different side. Okay. And then we can say file save as or file save on just to make sure we keep our changes. And what scale were these? These are all just one. If you want, you can try setting those to 2 and see what happens. That way they're all the same scale. Yeah, I think that's going to be a little too big. I'll leave it back at 1. We're not going to be able to fit all those views in. So what you could do if you want, you can go back in here, click this again, and I set that scale to 2, right? Let's go 1-2. That way it covers both scales. It updates down here. Okay. So, let's see. Now, one of the things that kind of bugs me is if you add another drawing, it watch what happens. Okay, if we go insert a new drawing, it will create a new drawing. But if I take and say I click on one of the pegs, and I want to insert that one of the orthographic things into it, guess what? You don't see it here, right? This is the active drawing, but you don't see it. Well, guess where it just put it? It's on the other page. Which is not what we want. So what I end up having to do is I would have to separate this into another file and create the views and the pages per part if I can't fit them all on this. So if I have a large assembly, I have to create a new file for each piece so that I can create my drawings and export them out as PDFs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, I got to go back to the active drawing, click cancel. I'm going to delete this page. And since I said cancel, it's no longer part of this page. Now, if you want to zoom, I found out that you can use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. If you scroll towards yourself, it's going to zoom in. If you scroll away from yourself, It's going to zoom out. Now, I didn't know that. I was trying to click Control plus and minus and not getting anything done. It wasn't doing anything. So if you have a scroll wheel, definitely use that, because when you're trying to work in the dimensioning part, it's very important. You'll see in a second here. But just to let you know, you can scroll with the scroll wheel mouse and it will zoom in and zoom out. But yeah, I was trying to use the Control plus, Control minus, because that's how I usually zoom in sometimes on the document window, and it just doesn't work. Now, if you had wanted this in its assembled form, you would have to fuse parts together, and then you could import them as the different drawings. So now I'm going to switch from this over to drawing dimensioning. Now the dimensioning will work in whatever units you're actually working in. I'm always doing my 3D printing in millimeters, but you can switch it to inches, and sometimes when I'm doing this, I will say, okay, this is so many millimeters, and then I'll add to it using the text. You can add your own text to the drawing, and I will add in like inch numbers. It's the easiest way for me to do it. I just convert it and then type those in myself. So this will do your point to point. This does the diameter. You can have radiuses. You can set angles, numbers, and I haven't actually used these two. Okay, so what you do is you first click the tool, then you can click on a node. There's a whole lot of nodes will show up on this one because I have so many items on the screen. It may take a little while. I probably shouldn't put so much. Now, well, I should have done a top view of this thing, but I didn't. Okay. So you can see where like tons of little nodes have been made. And this is where I say it would have been nice. Knowing how to zoom and zoom out is really essential. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, come on. I shouldn't have used so many views. Whoops, there now. No, I'm really close. But you can click a node, click the opposite node, drag out, and then you have your. You just click again, and it's got your. Oops. If it ever does this, what I find you gotta do is you gotta save it, close the thing. This is a bug in the system itself, in this workbench. It will shift all the points way out from what you're working on. So what I do is I go up and go File, Save. I will close the page. Now double click the page. Okay, and it brings it back up without all the funky dots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce some of my views here just for, because really I've duplicated almost a view because you can kind of see the holes through this. So let's see if I can figure out which one that was. If I delete that view. Because it does take some processing power to do this part of it. And you notice here there's a dim 001, that's the dimension we added to the bottom of the. I didn't get rid of it. Well, probably as soon as I click one of these it will disappear. Sometimes that happens. So when you're doing this diameter tool, it will show all the circles. And so what I can do is I can click this one here. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Now, because it's such a small, I could do it there. I don't know why there's two lines. So that diameter is 4 millimeters. But you notice how it's incremented. There's dim 1, dim 2. Here it's working. Okay. Now I'm going to click here. And I'm going to click down here so that I can show you. If you drag up, you'll get this dimension. But if I drag this way, you'll get this dimension. And that doesn't look like I quite got the top one. I must have clicked one of the other ones. Trying to hit those little nodes, that's why I say this zoom in part is so important. Now what you can do, if you don't like it, you hit cancel. Zoom in more. Because when they stack those nodes right across each other, it's really hard. Try this again. Try to get just top. And try to get just the bottom. And so you can drag up, down. That time it looks like it went to. For the most part, I only use like the diameter one and this one up here. Once in a while, I'll use the radius one. That would be like if I was trying to set a radius for the maybe fillet. Trying to set that at this point would be kind of hard. I guess I could try it. Let's show it. Let's try this. Now this one's tricky to use. Okay, I want this radius. What I want to do is I usually try to click down towards one of the ends. So you've got this arrow thing. And I don't know why this other part, I'm just going to click. And it automatically puts the R in there so you know that that's a radius. 1.2. Now, if you have a number that comes up and you don't like what it says, you can modify that too. So say you wanted, so okay, so stick this here. Say you don't want that to be 15 for some reason. Maybe you made it and then decided you wanted to change it, but you didn't want to sit there and remodel it or something. You can take and go over and change the dimensions text. Click that. Click the little node that's next to it. There we go. And you can change the color too. It uses the red, green, blue. So family brand data, that's the font. If you wanted to change that, you might go in and change that. Say you wanted to change the size, you can go 6 and decide it's 14.5. Change it. And I just changed the color, the size, and the value. So it's that easy to just make a little modification in case you wanted to, like, you decided instead that you didn't want to have to remodel the entire thing, but you're sending this to someone to machine shop it and make it that way. Then you could modify it here, and they'll understand. This is one of the biggest purposes of the drawing and drawing dimensionings is so that you can send it to someone that works in a machine shop, or to be able to document it for your like your patent type things. Although I'm not sure this exact format is what the patent office would want, but you could pull the images off this and stick it into your other documents for the patent office if you wanted. And I guess I deleted this one instead of this one. Oh well. But yeah, what else could I show you? I really don't have. I don't really have many angles. Maybe I could. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we show angle. This makes a good angle here. We could describe this angle. We go this line, Uh, um, maybe not exactly what you want, but you can get the idea. From the 11.3, you can calculate the opposite on that. What else? I really don't use many of these annotations. I've used this arrow one a few times up here, just because I wanted to place one of these dimension texts. Now we could add we can add our own text here. Actually, that might make that 255 and all things go black. And I'll call this peg. Okay. Oh, I must have went white. Sorry. Try that again. I used to use these codes doing web page design, but I'm not that familiar with them much anymore. Let's try it again. There we go. And so you can add text fairly easily. That's how I would also change if I wanted to add inch dimensions in here. I would just use the same text tool over and over again, changing it to inches. And then you basically just file save. Now this one you can go file, export PDF. And, I'm just going to call it that. We'll hang combine, save. Now, you have to actually go manually open it to see the results. See, this is what the final part looked like. You attach the tennis balls to it. Okay, so where's the PDF? There we go. And so then, there's our drawing. We have a PDF version of it, and that can be used as part of whatever your project actually is. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.